Welcome to Crystal's Creative Chronicles. I'm back with another scrapbook process video, and here's how this one came together. So this layout took a lot of planning. I started out by choosing a Becca Higgins pocket page design and experimenting with the photo placement. I had the idea to cut one of the pages in half and create like a door style insert. And as you can see, that delicious card back there was my inspiration for the color scheme, and I knew I wanted to use that on the table card as my title. I originally planned to use washi tape in different ways, maybe creating some frames or adding some layer edges, but it didn't turn out how I was picturing it. And so then I'm just scrapped it, or kind of I'm going to go in a whole different direction. So after you see me here working on trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, and I started like that with the half page, but I'm going to take a break from this in a moment. Um, and I think I come to the realization that I was just trying to fit way too many photos. So you'll see here in a moment, I narrow it down to my favorites, which helped me simplify the design. So as you can see here, it's much smaller layouts, not trying to fit so many photos. From there, I took kind of things apart and tried to reuse what I could, and that gave me a fresh starting point. So I knew I wanted to cut this sunny side up phrase from this card to create a little banner over the edge of that photo with the eggs. And I wanted to add some of the layering of the blue from that same card behind it to give it some dimension and stuff. So as you can see, I'm trying to figure out how to layer that little blue strip, and then I wanted to pull in some washi tape as well in this layout. So I'm going to add another little layer of the washi tape here. I'm just going to fuss with it a little bit, trying to get it the way I want. And I also use this washi tape in that blue little strip of paper, kind of as also anchor points for that photo. So I'm going to layer that little blue strip here, and then put that photo of the breakfast on there. And then on top of that, put that sunny side up card, because it worked perfectly for my sunny side up eggs picture. So now I knew I wanted to use that feed me card down there at the bottom. And first I'm going to fuss with these photos as I guess I was debating on where to move next. And I add these little strips of washi here to this pink card with a little drink as well. Again, still trying to use that washi tape. So now going back to I wanted to use that feed me card. However, I had used it already, cut it already for that when I previously started working on this layout. So it was a little bit tricky to trim because I had tape still on the back of it. And I know I should have used scissors and not worry about keeping everything straight. But as you can see, I'm cutting here, and I realized, because I flipped it over thinking that would be the lineup of so feed me, I realized when I cut it over, I forgot about it flopping and it cut the wrong way. So I try to see here would it work if it looks like kind of like coming off the edge, and no. So this was a perfect thing to be a new challenge to take a different direction. So I knew I had that member of the Clean Plate Club stamp, and I had recently seen some embossing done on some other scrapbook videos as I was, watching here on YouTube. And I thought, going back to embossing, so I had recently bought some embossing powder just for fun to play with it again. And so I was like, let me try to emboss this stamp here with, saying, the Clean Plate Cup. And I'm going to just use a scrap from that Sunny Side Up card there, because I thought about doing it on that green card. However, I was afraid if I made a mistake, I would lose that green card, and I didn't have another green card like that that I could replace it with. So I decided to go with that scrap of white there from that Sunny Side Up card and go from there. So here you can see I'm using some black embossing powder and just trying to make sure I get it all over the little different parts of where I inked it with the embossing ink. So just checking there, and then kind of cleaning up. I forget how messy the embossing powder is and how it gets everywhere. But anyways, so here I am just heating up to set that embossing And I have to say I was really pleased with how it came out. The embossing looked great and the inking went well. So here I just finished that, and then now I'm going to get my little punch here to punch that circle out, and I had one that was perfect size. I was just kind of checking with the stamp there to see if it worked. And here I'm going to test it out with another scrap little cardstock and make sure that it worked. And so there I'm just lining it up and taking a deep breath and then punching it out. So now I'm just going to lay it out here on this card. I liked it in the center there, and I thought about adding some layer by putting some washi tape behind it. And I just thought about pink, but I was like, there's too much pink right there. So then I found this one that I knew I had of this like orangey red polka dot. So I do one strip, and it looks okay to me, but I feel like it just needed some more strips. So you'll see me put some more here in a moment. Also, I wanted to give that little punch stamp out there with some dimension. And so I just did some foam and backing on there. And so as you see here, as I said, I was going to add some more. The one was okay, but I just felt like it needed some more dimensions or more layers behind that stamp. So I'm just adding couple strips here. Again, my original challenge here with me when I was creating this page was to use a bunch of washi tape. As you saw there, I pulled out that little label there, or not label, tag. And also I'm messing around here with that card of the drink on that pink card because I just wanted to change the alignment of it. Also with that tag, I knew I wanted to add some twine, so some more texture to this layout. So I found some black twine that I had. I'm just going to loop it through the little hole. And when I originally started this whole layout, I did pull, as you can see here onto the right side of my screen, I did pull a bunch of embellishments and papers that I could possibly use or thought I could use to work with this. I know I said previously that that delicious card there in the bottom left was my starting point for when I was going through my little cards. I saw that one and I saw the colors and I was like, that's perfect. So I did kind of go around and find cards or papers that matched those colors and that were delicious. So now I'm just going to move on to my journaling. I did use AI to kind of help me summarize or to get my thoughts clear in my journal here. And basically what this whole layout is about is my husband and I last April started a kind of an Instagram page of documenting when we go out to eat on our little date nights. And just kind of telling how we started this Instagram page to document our adventures of eating out. My husband loves to find new places to eat. Um, I enjoy them as well, but more importantly, I like taking photos and exploring my talent and uh, what's it called? Talent and skills with photography and stuff. So it kind of mixes both of our two little hobbies as well. Also, I'm just going to add a little bit of journaling up there to that card that talks about breakfast, just saying that we don't limit it just to dinner places, and we do sometimes have our little morning dates as well, especially on the weekends. We like to go to coffee shops or breakfast places, and then we have a lot of our favorites too, and that we continue to go back to, but also we like to try new places. So that's basically just the journaling that's going on in this page. And like I said, I did use the AI. It helped me just condense it so it could fit it into those cards. And since these photos all took place in April, I don't have a specific date when I date stamp it here. I just used a generic of April of last year and just little dashes so that I knew it was all during April. So now I'm just going to kind of fuss here with some of the other photos on these cards and try to figure out their little placements in here. and figure out, I knew I wanted to add just a little bit of embellishments to each of these little cards, nothing too crazy. So I had these little black labels that would be perfect there on that photo of oysters, trying to figure out where I'm going to place it. And my husband was actually in the room too, with me when I was doing this scrapping. And so I was kind of, when you see me pulling up, I'm actually asking him for his little advice of where it should go. I also had that little chipboard phrase there that um, talked about feed. It says feed me or something. I can't remember right now. I don't have it in front of me. But I had previously used that when I started this layout, and I pulled it off and used it again. It worked perfectly for those pizza photos that I had. I also have these little gold, or I'm not gold, I'm sorry, silver reflective little things. I think that one said yes, and the other one, I can't remember what the other one said because I don't have it. I didn't use it. Anyways, and then I had this little chipboard pizza too that I had in my stash, and I wanted to add it to this pizza card. And again, here I am asking my husband, do you think it looks there? I'm not really liking it. What do you think? So just I ask for his advice on there. So I put it off to the side and I move on to this delicious card. I wanted to add a little bit of embellishments. I do love adding little stars to my pages. Um, so I had those little vellum kind of sticker stars and also these little not hearts, puffy sticker stars to add to this delicious card. So I'm just going to add 3 into the little top left-hand corner, and then I'm going to add another little 3 cluster down to the bottom right corner of that delicious card. And so this as I was working on this layout, I could just tell also that it was coming together a lot better than when I had originally started. Again, I was debating about I decided I wanted to use that little pizza chipboard and debating on where I wanted to put it. And I liked it on the table. I thought about also adding to the on the table to the title, but I decided in the end just to go with on the table. You see there, I wrote with my white pen, feed me, to that black label sticker. And my husband and I kind of brainstormed there a little bit on what to say. Also, I have some more of those stamps from, it's like a Kelly Perky, delicious, one of her when she had kits a long time ago, stamps. I knew I wanted to use that one. It has about sharing this, grab a bite or grab a fork. I'm sharing this and something else. And I wanted to add it to a label here. So I found a little label and just added that to that card there with the pizza. Also using the tiny attacher here to add some texture, more texture to this layout. And I think that's pretty much it. You can see down there, I added some little sticker. I had a date night one just to kind of reflect on how these are our date nights. But this is pretty much it. So I thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you at the next one. Bye.